Hey guys, welcome to No Filters, Just Freedom, the show for people who are ready to stop shrinking, start rising, and live with unapologetic audacity. My name is Jasmine, I'm a life coach, and I'm here to guide us all through this journey of bold, authentic living.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Not Your Problem, the art of emotionally unsubscribing. Okay, this is the episode that actively encourages you to help yourself by doing less. If you've ever cried over a text left on read or pretended to care about your coworker's fantasy football team, congratulations. You're exactly who this is for. That's right, the secret to happiness, caring way less. So let's get into it. So here's the thing. Why are we constantly so exhausted by caring? Well, here are the three dumbest and strangest things we stress about, okay? First things first, the group chat. Have you ever panicked and replied, haha, to a text you didn't even read? Congrats, you've been blackmailed by an iPhone, okay? And don't get it twisted. I love my iPhone. I'm Apple forever, and I promise to love my husband even with his green bubbles. But when you get that little notification at the top, or you start getting all those dings and you're like, oh my gosh, and I don't even know what to do, and all of these messages, and they just keep going, your phone is right there. Like, hey, pick me, choose me, and you're like overwhelmed. And maybe you don't have time to read them. Maybe you just don't know what to say. Maybe it's all too much and you wish you weren't even a part of this group chat, okay? That's where the stress comes in. That's where you start caring. But guess what? They're just text messages. It's not like somebody is actually talking to you in the face and you're glazed over. That's a whole other issue, okay? So we gotta let that go. Let the group chat go, okay? The next thing we stress about is the LinkedIn hustle. Okay, posting rise and grind at 8 a.m. doesn't make you, brilliant and amazing. It makes you tired. Okay, you're not smart. Okay, you're not doing all these amazing things. Okay, Jeff Bezos isn't up at 5 a.m. talking about rise and grind. We know Elon Musk is not up at 5 a.m. Okay, you don't have to prove to people that you are working really hard or intense or whatever else. I mean, work at your own pace. Do what you gotta do, okay? If you are up at 5 a.m. and you're a morning person, I love that for you. But for the rest of us that do not want to start the day before the sun is up and don't want to talk to anyone before 10 a.m., it's okay. You are just fine. You are just as great, and you can work just as hard and be just as productive as the rest of the world, okay? And then the last thing is the fake urgency, okay? So the truth is, ASAP normally means I forgot about this and now it's your problem, okay? You don't have to believe that everything is the most important thing in the world, okay? It's just not important like that. If someone starts asking you about ASAP, you can literally look at them and go, okay, can I do this at this moment? Can I, if the best way to handle ASAP is to look at someone and say, I can do it here. And then you listen to their response, okay? If their response is, sure, that works great, then it wasn't like, I need you to do this immediately, okay? But if their response is, I really need this to get done here, you know that it's actually truly urgent. But all you have to do to figure that out is say, hey, this is what I'm available in my calendar. Okay? It alleviates the stress. It stops you from taking on what someone else's problem. And now you're free of the guilt and the stress. Okay? Don't fall for the myth of perfect life and the time heist. Okay? Those perfect Instagram moms probably just had their kids right on their walls 5 minutes ago. And every minute you spend worrying about things that don't matter is time you could have spent napping or rewatching The Office. Of all the shows, you could be rewatching The Office. I once heard a girl apologize to a Starbucks barista for existing. Yeah, we're fixing that stuff today, okay? No more apologizing for that. So here's the framework you need for your future, okay? You need a care category, okay? What exactly deserves your energy? Okay, these are the things that we want to focus on. These are the things that actually matter, okay? First things first, if it matters, it needs to be your health, your rent, and probably your pet, okay? That's how it works. Your health is important. Are you sleeping enough? Are you focused on yourself? Are you eating properly? Are you doing all these things to actually function? Your health is a big deal. Okay, that's what you care about. That's how you function. Okay, then your rent or your mortgage. You need somewhere to live. You can't rise and grind without a roof over your head. Okay, my husband is the biggest proponent of this. He's like, look, you can do a lot of things, but you can't do it from your car. Okay, what good is anything if you don't have a roof over your head? Focus on that. Pay attention to that. Living is important, okay? You have a healthy body and you need a healthy place to live, okay? And then your pet or your family or your friends or whatever else, okay? That's what you start caring about. Your immediate things around you, okay? Your dog needs you, okay? My kid needs me, okay? These are things that actually matter to the world, okay? Those three things: your health, your rent, your family. Things that don't matter: others' opinions on your life choices, if your ex thinks you're winning, or the existential dread of unread emails. Doesn't actually matter. I know society wants you to feel like it matters. I know that we live in a culture where everyone seems to be scrutinizing what we look at and we live our life online, but I'm telling you, it's not that deep, okay? I know it feels that deep. I know you want it to be that deep. It's not that deep, okay? The next thing you want to have after your care category is, will this matter on my deathbed test? Okay, this is a big test. You start asking, will I regret not going to Susan's candle party? No, you won't. Okay? And no one is going to hate you whether you do show up or don't show up. Okay? Does that really matter in the grand scheme of things? No. Will I regret not calling my mom back? Probably. Okay? Again, you care about your health, you care about your rent, and you care about your family. Okay? So you want to prioritize things accordingly. All right. You want to make sure that you put first things first, and showing up to, a friend or a coworker's random thing, if you don't have the time or the energy for it, then don't go. It doesn't matter. It does not matter in the grand scheme of things. I know you want it to matter. I know we want it to be, the most important thing that we've ever experienced and ever done. But the truth is, it's not. And it's a-okay that that's how that works, okay? So together we can master the art of not caring, okay? First things first is the it's not my problem flowchart. Okay, that is one of the most important things we can experience. It's not my problem, all right? So the first step and the first question you ask, is this my responsibility? So that's a very simple question. Is this my responsibility? If the answer is no, bet, ignore it, you're done, end of discussion, move on to the next thing. It's beautiful how that works. If the answer is no, we're done, we're good, there's nothing else we need to talk about, okay? The next thing, if the answer is yes or maybe, okay, you move on to the next step is, can I fix this in under 5 minutes? Okay, it's a 5-minute test. And other things, if you can fix it under 5 minutes, or if it's a 5-minute issue, it's easier to not stress about, okay? Because timing, things that require more time require more stress. Because now you're like, well, where do I fit it in? Is this important? And where do I cancel other things? And now my day is packed, and all of these things that are like overwhelming, all because they require more time, when you could just ask the simple 5-minute test. Okay, can I fix it under 5 minutes? Yes? Cool, do it. No? Go back to step 1. Is this my responsibility? Okay, can I fix this in under 5 minutes? No? Then let's go back. Is it my responsibility? That's another way of freeing up your time to make sure you put first things first, to allow you to be the best version of yourself. Okay, we're not going to take on things that aren't ours to take on. We're not going to focus on things that aren't ours to focus on. All right. And then the next part in the flow chart, if you said yes and you can fix it under 5 minutes and you can do it, the thing you want to ask is someone mad at me for not caring? Okay, that is one of the biggest questions that we can ask as stressors. Okay, is someone going to care that I said that this does not matter? Even if I could do it in under 5 minutes, even if I decided it doesn't matter to the world, is it something that someone is going to be mad? But guess what? Their disappointment is their problem, not yours. Enjoy the silence, okay? It's okay. Just because someone else is mad about a situation, because again, is this my problem? No, then I'm not worried about it. Okay? Just because they're upset, that's how they choose to handle it. The same way, if you're upset about something and you need to work through it, that doesn't make it other people's problem. That makes it your problem that you feel like you have to work through. And it's a-okay that that's how that works. Point blank period. It's a-okay. All right? What's hilarious about some of this stuff for me is that it's stuff that I've had to learn, and I've learned really great being with my very protective, introverted husband. Okay? He lives by the not my problem flowchart. Okay? He is not going to take on responsibility, take on stress, or add to his timing by doing something that legitimately causes him any sort of overwhelmness. He just doesn't. And guess what? His life is perfectly fine. His life, he is thriving. Okay. Now, meanwhile, I'm over here like, well, where do I put this in? And I want to be a great friend. And how do I function? And how do I do this? And da 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 da. It's so overwhelming. And yet, okay. And yet, I'm probably stressing and not living my best life way more than him. Okay. So we want to be in a situation where we can thrive. We want to be in a situation where we're not pulling our hair out just because other people, we think that it'll matter to other people. We think that, this is a big deal when it's not. We're not thriving because we're not putting first things first. We're people pleasing. Okay. So other people's disappointment is not your problem. Enjoy your silence. All right. So you have the not my problem flowchart. The next thing we can master is to reply with confidence. Okay. The guide of replying with confidence. So if you've got a nosy relative, you can say things like, thanks for your concern. Anyways, all right, we're just gonna move the conversation along. I don't have to fall for your trap. I don't have to give you the answer that you're craving to know about my life just because you want to be all up in my life. Okay. It starts with school. Are you going to school? What's your plans? You are in school. What's your major? How are you going to function with that? Then it's, do you have a person? Do you have a spouse? Do you have a significant other? Are you going to get one? Do you want to be with someone? Are you going to be alone forever? Okay. And then, you get the person, you got the degree, you've done all those things. And then they start looking at you going, so you're going to have kids? Do you want to do this? Are you going to do that? And it never ends. They just all up in your business. Okay, everywhere. One of my favorite things, favorite in quotation points, but one of my favorite things that happened is that we had our daughter and we came home from the hospital and we showed her to somebody. We went over to introduce, we went to their house to introduce her. Shoot, she might have been like 3 weeks old, right? And this person legitimately looked me dead in my eye and asked me if we were going to have another one. Seriously, looked me straight in the eye while holding a newborn and was like, so when are you going to have another one? And because I have no filter and no common sense and my husband just shakes his head at me, I was like, I don't know, maybe after my stitches heal? Like, I was so upset. Okay. But that's what it's like. They all up in your business all the time. And all you have to do is say, thanks for your concern. I appreciate the question or whatever else. Anyways, and you move the conversation along. It can be just that simple. And it needs to be just that simple. And then people will learn boundaries and they will learn to stop being all up in your business because it's none of their concern. Okay? It does not matter. You can reply differently with toxic coworkers. Okay? You say, I'll circle back to that. And you do it never. Okay? You go back to the flow chart. Okay? They ask for something, you'll say, I'll circle back to that. And then you go, is this my responsibility? And we start the whole process all over again, okay? Because that's the problem with toxic coworkers. That's the problem with toxic people in general. They want to put things on you that are completely unnecessary. Okay? They want to place their burdens on you to make themselves feel better. They want to drag you into the mud with them. Absolutely not. Okay? You're not going to have me losing my mind and stressing over something just because you're stressing. Just because you're in the throes of it doesn't mean that I have to be in the throes of it. Okay? Growing up and not knowing that I was bipolar was a lot of things, but one of the things that was the craziest is that I would get into these manic states, okay, when I was being super productive and it looked really good, especially for a highly educated person, but like I wasn't sleeping, okay, and I wasn't sleeping, everything was on 10, I was speaking way too fast, life is just going. And one of the things that my family would look at me and say, and it was huge for like my sister, would be like, hey, just because it's a priority for you, just because it's your problem, doesn't make it mine. Like, just because you're stressed about it doesn't mean I have to be stressed about it. And sure, I was in a manic state, and that's different. And, you know, that mental health stuff we can go into later. But it was a really important lesson that I needed to learn that I still use, you know, now I'm on drugs, everybody's happy. But just because you're stressed, just because it matters to you, doesn't mean it has to matter to everybody else. And toxic people try to force that on you. They try to say, hey, what's mine is yours. But then what makes them even more toxic is they don't want to take on your crap. Okay? The hypocrisy, the literal hypocrisy. But that's a huge thing, okay? If you don't want to take their crap on, then just be like, okay, I'll circle back to that. And then never do it. Lastly, when you're replying with confidence, you want to ignore the unsolicited advice. That's my favorite. The unsolicited advice, where it just comes out of nowhere and, you know, didn't ask them anything. And you can respond to that with, wow, that's a thought. And then just change the subject. Like, you validate the fact that you heard them and they had a thought. Okay, thank you for sharing. And then you change the subject because I didn't ask you. I don't actively care about what you said. I'm not invested in what's actually happening. Okay? If I actually cared or wanted your opinion, I would have asked for it. But since I didn't, go somewhere with that mess. Unsolicited advice is probably one of the hardest things to find a way to walk away from, to not have the stress. Unsolicited advice is hard to reply to. It can put you on edge. It can stress you out by itself. You might blank and not know what to say or how to handle it. I mean, all these things can happen for something that feels like somebody was trying to help, but also, again, I didn't ask you. Okay, so a great way of responding to that confidently is, wow, that's a thought. And then you just change the subject. Okay, that's how we're going to handle that. And then the last thing we need to know when mastering the art of not caring is mute and move on importance. Okay, it's a method to mute and move on. Okay, one of the things we have to mute sometimes is social media. Okay, turn off your social media or unfollow anyone that stresses you out. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to see them. You do not have to pay attention to them if you don't want to. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how that works. You're putting yourself in a negative situation and they can't even see you. They're not even paying attention to your stress. You're stressing your own self out for no reason. Okay? You're projecting onto a screen. You're making assumptions about your life and internalizing things that you don't need to internalize just by watching somebody give snippets of their life that may or may not be true. Now, I'm not saying that people are lying on social media. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying that some things are overwhelming to us and you don't have to subscribe to toxic. You don't have to subscribe to the thing that makes you feel less than. If you don't want to see it, if you don't want to hear it, if you don't want to be around it, then just unsubscribe and ignore it. Okay? Just unfollow it. I know it seems counterintuitive, and I know as I say it seems so easy because it's just a button, but I know it's hard culturally. And sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between inspiration and overwhelmed. And it's a fine line, but if it causes you to cringe more than it does to empower, then you need to unfollow. That's just how that works. And if you're struggling and stressed about all social media, put that joker on mute and come back to it in a day. It's not going anywhere. It's not like Instagram won't be there tomorrow. Just put it down for the day and relax. And then if you have to, you can mute and move on from your real life. All right? If you see drama, you can literally walk the other way. It's another thing my husband is so good at. Okay? If he sees a mess happening, he will leave that mess in a heartbeat. Okay? He's like, ooh, this looks like a problem. And he's out. Because he's like, this is not my drama. I don't have to be invested in this drama. Does it have to do with my health, my family, or my rent? No? Okay, I'm out. And that's what we all have the ability to do. We all can. We just choose not to. But you'd be amazed how much stress leaves your life when you can mute drama and just walk away. It's so freeing. It's so freeing, you'll wonder why you haven't been doing it your whole life. Okay? It's not my problem. I'm just gonna walk away. We all need a manifesto. Okay, we all need some sort of I don't care manifesto. So here's a careless one. Okay, you've got a 24-hour rule. If it won't matter in 24 hours, then you get 24 seconds of mental energy. That's part of my manifesto. It's a 24 rule. If it won't matter tomorrow, then you only get 24 seconds of my life. You get 30 seconds of my life, and that's the end of that. Then you have the oh well policy. Okay? Scenario is you messed up. Instead of spiraling, try the radical phrase, oh well, it works wonders. Okay? There's something to be said about your ability to just not. There's something to be said about giving yourself grace and just being like, well, we all make mistakes. Oh well. All right? It's so freeing. It's so liberating because you're not so hard on yourself. All right? So we want the oh well policy. I promise you it'll change your life. And then the last thing you want in your manifesto is the screw it bucket. Just screw it. Imagine you actually have a physical bucket. Now throw in the unsolicited advice, the backhanded compliments, and anyone who says we need to talk over text. Nah, get rid of it. Congrats. You just freed up 80% of your brain space. Okay, all of these extra things, all the stuff that doesn't matter, the stuff that you don't really want to care about, the stuff that, seems like it wants to be important but isn't, get rid of it. Okay, just literally throw it in the bucket and then toss the bucket away. That's pretty much how that works. It's beautiful. Okay, because you don't need it. You don't need people coming in and trying to make you feel less or making things more complicated or doing anything like that. It's just not helpful in any way whatsoever. Okay, so if you think you're ready for the leveled up version, you want to try something like the Irish goodbye. Okay, again, my husband is the king of an Irish goodbye. Okay, you're good. Sometimes you can say bye, sometimes you don't, and just leave, okay? It's not your scene. It's none of your business. There's drama here that is unimportant. Just leave. It's a beautiful feeling. Like, this is not my problem. Sorry, not sorry, okay? Then you can also do what's called the email karate, okay? It's a non-urgent message. Then it equals thanks for this and close the computer. It's awesome. Like, again, we can go back to, is this my problem? And can I fix it in 5 minutes? No, this is not my problem. All right, I read the email, bet, closes the computer, walks away. Irish goodbye your own email, okay? That's another thing that you can do. And then you can also try the Zen apology, okay? Just say my bad. Just say my bad instead of a 5-minute monologue on how you didn't mean to do that and it wasn't your intention and you're so sorry that, my bad, I didn't mean it. I'll work harder next time. End of discussion. Stop twisting yourself into a pretzel for something that could just be like, hey, I'm sorry. And add it to your, oh well, and keep it pushing. Just keep it pushing. It doesn't have to be everything that our stress tries to make it to be, okay? So we're gonna try the 7-day not my problem challenge, okay? On the first 2 days, you're gonna ignore one notification, guilt-free. Just guilt-free. I ignored it. I don't care if it's an email. I don't care if it's a text message. I don't care what it is. okay? I don't care if it's an Instagram Messenger, whatever you need. I don't care. We're going to ignore it because it's probably not that important in our life anyway, okay? Then on day 3 and day 4, you're going to say no to something you normally dread, okay? If your coworker asked you to do something that you hate doing, then just say no. You know, if you've got family and friends who are like, hey, do you want to like go out tonight? And you're like, in your mind, you're like, no, I don't. Then vocalize that. No, I don't. Okay. And just say that. Day 5 and 6, delete an outdated and social media app just for the day. Just for the day. Just cause. I'm getting rid of Facebook, I'm getting rid of TikTok, I'm getting rid of LinkedIn, I'm getting rid of Instagram, I'm getting rid of something for 24 hours. And you would be amazed. You would be absolutely amazed at how much stress goes away because you're not looking at things or scrolling or feeling the need to post something that's unnecessary. You'd be amazed. It feels so good to just not bring it back for all I care, but just for 24 hours. Just let it go. And then lastly, celebrate all of these wins by doing absolutely nothing productive, okay? Eat some ice cream, watch a movie, read a book that has nothing to do with whatever's going on in your life. I don't care what it is. Just do nothing. Again, take away the stress, take away the things that would normally cause you anxiety and constantly trying to prove a point to somebody or anything like that. Let it all go. Let it all go, okay? Remember, you aren't the CEO to other people's feelings, okay? You aren't responsible for their drama, and you definitely don't have to justify why you're not, quote unquote, living your best life, according to Instagram, okay? At the end of your life, no one will remember that justification or remember how quickly you responded to your emails. Nobody cares. Okay, but folks will definitely remember if you were present, happy, and maybe a little bit of a delightful weirdo. Choose weird. All right, so tag me with your sorry not sorry wins, and tag me and message me on Instagram at breathe_easy_coaching, or you can find me on TikTok at lifecoach_Jasmine J. And I want to hear your wins. I want to hear the moments where you lost your stress, where you were like, hey, I stood up for my mental health and now I feel great. Okay, go forth and care less. You're welcome.
Remember, you don't need permission to be great. And this is your call to rise, to reclaim your power, and to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. I believe extraordinary potential lives in all of us. The dreams we've tucked away, the voice that was softened, and the fire that's been waiting to burn bright. This journey isn't about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about shattering expectations and embracing your truest, most unapologetic self. No more shrinking or waiting for permission. The world needs your brilliance, your resilience, and your unique light. It's time to stop asking, am I enough? And start declaring, I am more than enough. Your next chapter begins now. Let's write it with courage, audacity, and unshakable belief in who you are. The unstoppable person isn't born, they're awakened. And that person is you. Now go start your revolution. This world needs your unshaken light today.